Today, I would like to introduce how OpenAPI standards supports the airline industry standard setting activities and what can be done beyond the standards. I'm Jensen or Peterson. I'm a senior manager working in IATA, focusing on the OpenAPI activities, promoting the industry to achieve an open data ecosystem. To start with, what is IATA? IATA is the trade association for the world airlines. We are representing more than 300 airline members who have presence in more than 120 countries, and our airline members represent more than 80% of world air traffic. So the core roles in IATA, first of all, we advocate on behalf of our airlines. We protect airlines' interests in different foreign, global, and regional affairs. Another core role of IATA is the industry standard setting activities, which is the most relevant one for today's presentation. So IATA, we are supporting the standard definition activities, including business operational standards or the technology standard, including message exchange for integration purpose to make sure the interoperability for the system integration. And the third role from IATA, we deliver aviation products and services to support a more efficient and more success for industry operation. So why we're talking about APIs in the industry? From the IATA survey a couple of years ago, our airline members told us they plan to provide open APIs in different areas of business and different business scenarios. And as you can see on the right hand of the diagram, APIs happens all along the passenger journey in all different touch points with airlines, with airports or other industry parties. Here, as part of the Open API, open really means the API is publicly discoverable by consumers or by airline partners. Open does not necessarily mean free, and the providers have full control over who can access what API and when. So from the industry parties, especially from our airline members, IATA received the mandate and also the objective that our airline members would like IATA to build a key enabler to facilitate the industry to achieve an open data ecosystem. And to achieve this, we have to go through the development of the industry standards and services under open technology and open data under the industry governance. So on IATA side, a couple of years before, we put together this IATA Open API program, including 3 pillars on the right-hand side. First, standards. We help industry build open API standards, REST API best practices. We have the industry working group developing the API standards. Second part, in IATA, we run the Open Air certification program to recognize the API providers' commitment to follow industry best practices, and also we help the providers to promote their compliant APIs. And the third pillar is the service. From IATA, under the program, we deliver Open API Hub service, which is one single API portal to promote API discoverability, which I will present in 2 minutes. And also from IATA, we leverage developer portal to engage and provide developer supporting tools. So I put a link for the IATA Open API Hub as a quick intro. I'm not going to play for now. And if you want to search IATA Open API Hub on YouTube or just click the link here in the slides, you will be able to see the full video. Now, let's talk about the API standards. As I said, under the Open API group, under the industry governance, we developed the REST API standards and best practices. First of all, we promote a design approach and focus on standards around the API spec, around the API design. And the standards is built based on OpenAPI or OAS 3.0. This is a baseline standard specification. We build our best practices, And also the standard is based on the airline industry standard data model, in short, AIDM. So on the right-hand side, you can see some information about OpenAPI working group. Under the working group, we have airline architects, API managers, technology managers, etc., who are working together to not only define the standards, but also develop some supporting tools which will facilitate the developers' adoption to the standards. For example, we have the JSON schema library, which includes a list of the standard JSON schema objects generated or extracted from AIDM, as you can see here. We have also the API design style linker rule set, which is built based on the open source framework called the Spectral. And as I said, from the industry service pillar, IATA delivered this OpenAPI hub as a single API portal for the industry. So let's talk about how OpenAPI standards we are building under airline industry helps the driving the industry standard forward. So we have the first use case. Here, IATA have different working groups to work together and define the industry standard API. As you can see, you have technical working group focusing on OpenAPI and a group focusing on a standard data model. And we have business groups who provide the business context, proper business analysis. So all the groups will work together and collaborate in the API design workspace. Again, with the data model defined in the standard industry standard data model repository. Then, when all the group members finish collaboration, then we finalize the API spec, which is OS 3.0 spec, and then we can promote this standard API spec on the OpenAPI hub, so that this API spec or API standard is visible to all industry parties who might want to implement the API in their own platform. So as you can see, this is a whole chain of standard setting to implementation from the industry. So already there's some benefits moving on for this use case. First of all, the standards using more recent and modern technology. We try to involve and enable agility in a standard development with to enable collaboration between different teams. For sure, the interoperability is the key part. We want to deliver the key value we deliver from the standards, and we follow the same API design style, and also the API data model with request and response or parameters, etc., are compliant with the industry standard data model. And again, last step, we leverage the API hub to promote API discoverability and also showcase and track the industry adoption. A second use case, which is more, I want to call it industry open API, which is much broader, as you can imagine, than the airline industry standard API. Meaning here, if you are an industry party, this open API best practice is relevant for you when you design your own API. It may not be fully compliant with one existing standard API from the industry, but it's already benefits you and benefits the rest part of the industry to have some levels of consistency, as I said, API design style, data model, to have this consistency in your API design. Again, you can be airline, airport, or any IT provider, or IATA ourselves. It can be any airline or travel industry provider. If you have already some open API, first of all, we promote or we welcome you to publish your API on the OpenAPI hub. It can be a private API, partner API, only visible to a group of people you select, or it can be a public API, open API, visible to all public users. Second, you may want to developing the new API. When developing new API or upgrading your existing API, you might want to follow some level of best practices adopted by the airline industry. So in your own API platform, you can already import the standard JSON schema library to ensure when you design your API, you can reuse as much as possible the standard definition, taxonomy, and associations between different objects, and etc. as part of this JSON schema library objects. You can also leverage the reusable design style linting rule set in your own API platform as long as it supports a spectral framework. Then you can use your own platform to finish your API design. Once you finish your API design, you can apply for certification. Send your finalized API stack to IATA team, OpenAPI@iata.org. Then if everything is fine, you get your certification pretty soon. Main benefits for this use case. First of all, we try to maximize the value of the industry adopted best practice and also the standard data model. Second, we promote discoverability of your APIs. You can have all different, your APIs can be implemented in different technologies, and it can be any party from the industry. But here, IATA, under the OpenAPI program, we help you promote your API. And if your API follows best practices, we issue the certificate to you as recognition, and also we promote your API further as a certified API on the API Hub. So yeah, here I wanted to shout out if you are a relevant API provider or consumer as part of the airline industry, please come and we welcome you to join the OpenAPI program. You can discover APIs, connect to partners through APIs, and you can promote your own APIs in terms of discoverability, and you can follow industry standards to achieve certificate. Make sure you have APIs in good quality, and you can also contribute to OpenAPI industry working group activities if you are an airline member or if you are an IATA strategic partner. So if you need more information, I put here the link to OpenAPI program, the link to our working group, the link to the OpenAPI Hub, the onboarding document. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact OpenAPI@iata.org. So thank you very much.